If there was one physical subject, one material subject that we should focus on, in my opinion, it is very clear that the head of the snake is the financial system. The whole point of finance is to indebt, otherwise to enslave. What is a mortgage? I mean, what does that stand for? It's a death grip. So when you get a mortgage, you have a death grip held over you because you are in debt. You don't even own the house. The bank owns the house that loans you the money to buy the house, unless you're fortunate enough to have all the money to buy it outright. And even then, you can be taxed by the government, and if you fail to keep up with those taxes, the government can then take it from you. The whole system is based on a financial fraud, which effectively takes the power that we have and it gives it to a tiny group of individuals who are running the world through the control of finance. With the infinite supply of money that we have allowed them to take, they have literally an infinite supply of money, and with that money, and from their psychopathic point of view, they have bought everything and everyone who can be bought. So those of us who cannot be bought, because we operate on a level that goes way beyond the material, we are not rewarded for such behavior, we are punished for such behavior. And the most slovenly, disgustingly criminal, pedophilia, corrupt moral individuals, those are the ones that are rewarded in this system, which is upside down. We reward the pedophiles, we reward the corrupt, we reward the liars, we reward the people with no morals at all.
This is episode 2 of Going Postal. I'm here with my boy Sam. We're not just trying to turn into the 9/11 podcast, but from the last episode, we got a bit more we want to tell you. We got a bit to say about World Trade Center 7. We got a bit to say about asbestos and this guy named Larry goddamn Silverstein.
AKA the devil himself.
He knows the devil for sure. If he's not the devil himself, he's hanging around with him. I know that much.
I mean, anybody with the last name Silverstein, I mean, come on, people.
It's right in front of you, people. It's been right in front of you the whole time. But this goddamn motherfucker bought the Twin Towers 3 months before it went down because he knew that the asbestos needed was billions and billions of dollars, and he wasn't gonna get a little average renovation going on. He had other things in store and a bit of insurance money he wanted to collect.
Let's not mention the type of insurance he got. He got terrorist insurance 3 months before the fucking towers got hit by a plane, people. I mean, for fuck's sakes. How can you get away with something this blatant? Like, not to just get balls deep into it, but Jesus Christ. It's right in front of your fucking eyes and just nobody sees it.
Look at World Trade Center 7. Look at it fall down. It falls down perfectly symmetrical. The first 2 seconds are even admitted by the 9/11 Commission of being free fall. Free fall speed. Fire doesn't just knock out the pillars of every single pillar that's holding up that building and it just free falls for the first 2 seconds. That's only achieved with controlled demolition, people. It's right in front of you. I mean, it's a goddamn fact. I don't know how else to put it.
I mean, it's a goddamn fact. I even if you just look at it, like, how the fuck does a building that's blocks away, like, was it hit by a plane? Like, what the fuck happened here? Like, nobody asked any questions about this. Like, the 9/11 report wasn't even sweating it. They weren't even worried about it.
Look up the testimony of Barry Jennings. He was in World Trade Center 7 when the towers were hit. There was bombs that went off before the towers went down in World Trade Center 7. It was emptied. Everyone knew it was going down. Whenever the World Trade Center 7 went down, there was a countdown heard. There was a countdown heard over walkie-talkies by witnesses. How would anyone know whenever the exact moment that this demolition was going to happen?
All right, dude, chill.
What?
Fucking 911's getting to us. It's just fucking a bad day. Bad day. A day that'll live in infamy, as some might say. But, I mean, the sad part is 9/11's done and over. The reason that they did it's already been, they've already achieved their goals. I mean, the Patriot Act, like, just naming something the Patriot Act, you should be afraid of it. Like, if you ever hear anything like that, just fucking run away.
They did it to take away your rights, and they did it to enter a war that had nothing to do with anybody. They did it for war, for money. They did it for money, for Larry Silverstein. There was multiple parties that benefited from it to go into the goddamn wars with people that were not involved.
I mean, there's U.S. soldiers that say they are just spending their whole entire time there protecting opium fields. I mean, people, the drugs got to be made, and to be quite honest with you, I'm not one to judge. Fucking make the drugs. Why not? Let the junkies have it.
Did you see that Alex Jones and Tucker Carlson were talking, and Tucker Carlson asked him, how did you predict 9/11 before it happened? Because I guess Alex Jones literally predicted 9/11 before it happened and said they were going to blame it on Osama bin Laden because he was the boogeyman that they needed. And Tucker Carlson asked him, and Jones was like, well, I just had all the pieces in front of me. I had about 80% of the pieces of the puzzle. And then the Holy Spirit gave me the last 20%. And I thought that was goddamn awesome. I thought that was so funny.
Dude, Jones is a beast. Tucker now.
The goddamn Holy Spirit gave him that last 20%. He found it.
Tucker nowadays freaks me out because, like, you could tell that he's just like a drunk, boozy motherfucker that just always has his in. But and then he starts he goes on Joe Rogan, he starts talking about fucking UFOs being spirits. And I'm like, respect, but where the fuck is this coming from? Like, the dude gets fired from Fox and he just becomes a fucking warrior of God. I mean, I don't know. There's nothing else to fucking call him. There's always a religious spin to what he has going on, and I'm not sure what I can pin down about it.
I hated how everything that he was saying, Joe Rogan was just basically like, yeah, I don't agree with that at all. Like, I don't know if I agreed with everything he was saying, but I was at least hearing him out, and Joe Rogan just shutting that shit down. Like, well, actually, that's probably not true. Like, just shutting it down right away.
I mean, Joe Rogan's going to like a Darth Joe Rogan moment right now. I don't know if you've watched the last couple ones, but he's been a fucking animal.
He did just today have a fake moon landing guy on, and he gave a guy saying that the moon landing was fake a platform, which I thought was pretty dope.
I mean, but he also took the piss out of the whole entire time.
Yeah, he did.
But what are you gonna do? I mean, I also didn't fucking like the guy. He just seemed like a fat retard. So fuck it.
Back to the matter at hand, though. The Twin Towers might have went down in a controlled demolition as well. Like, they went down in a similar fashion to the World Trade Center. They went down, all pillars give out at the same time, and it just falls at free fall speed. Each tower went down in, I think, 10 or 12 seconds. Just unbelievable for that to happen.
I don't know, dude. Everything on that day makes sense. There's nothing to sweat here.
We've hired the investigators. There's nothing to worry about, people. That you can trust them completely. We know them. They're good guys. You can trust them completely. The tower support beams were cut at 45-degree angles, and it was most likely from thermite. People were pulling out beams that were cut at 45-degree angles.
It's in the 9/11 report that they found, like, the remnants of thermite. I mean, like, the materials that are in thermite, they found it at the base of the tower in fucking ground zero. You can look that up. That's in government documents, flat out. There was thermite there on 9/11. Somehow there were just the remnants of it. Nobody asked any questions about it, but there were remnants of it.
The fires burned under the Twin Towers for months later. Months later, there were still fires burning in December, and people were reporting molten steel coming out of there. And molten steel only comes at like 2,800 degrees Fahrenheit. Like, just unbelievable heat under there. They literally opened a portal to hell with this goddamn thermite. It's a fucked day.
Freemason satanic ritual?
Was it just for money? Was it for the war? Like, what was it for? How could that be worth it? This devastation.
I mean, I don't know. Have you seen that fucking picture, like the cloud with the devil face on it? on fucking 9/11?
No.
I mean, it's probably just dumb. But anyway, I mean, who's to fucking know? I'm not one to disagree with massive fucking murder rituals, but there's no real evidence of that. I mean, you can fucking like add up a bunch of numbers and make anything look like a conspiracy theory at the end of the day. I think we should talk about what actually fucking happened, and that's people getting fucked over, the American people getting fucked over, and just losing their rights willingly. I think that's just the most impressive part about it, is just literally taking away people's rights, and just nobody has a problem with it. Everybody signing it away.
They're going to keep taking and taking. They're not just stopping there. They're always going to keep taking and taking and ruining your experience, taking your money and taking your freedom. You don't have freedom. This isn't a democracy. They've taken it. They've taken it right in front of your eyes, and you just stood there looking at them like a fucking retard. They've done it, and they're laughing at you.
It is pretty funny if you think about it. I mean, come on.
It's a fucking scam. It was a scam. They had a playbook. They ran out the playbook, and it was sloppy. It was sloppy. They don't understand the physics of building. They don't understand that a building doesn't just fall at free fall like that. Multiple buildings the same day don't just fall at free fall speeds like that. It doesn't add up. The only explanation is controlled demolition. Pre-planned event.
George Bush was just probably fucking jerking off at the time. And at that school, you know George Bush was jerking off in the bathroom 5 seconds, 5 seconds before you see that video of him hearing the first words. He just loved that shit.
He had to act like he didn't know it was coming already. That goddamn motherfucker knew it was coming already. He was part of it.
I mean, I don't know. George Bush was kind of a fucking moron, so they might have kept him in the dark about it. They might have
kept him in the dark, but his family knew about it for sure. If he didn't know himself, and that was actually a genuine reaction of him not knowing it was coming, I don't know. But members of his family, I believe, knew.
I don't know. Who knows? I mean, it's old Bush. Fucking, he's gone now. Nothing to sweat.
Flight 93 was supposedly shot down, but a phone call with someone on the plane lasts for over an hour after it explodes. How does that happen? How does that add up?
I mean, fog of war, buddy. Who knows? A lot of things on that day fucking didn't make sense, but it's okay.
They hire Henry Kissinger to head the 9/11 Commission. Just one of their boys. They just got him in their back pocket. Just going to say, yep, job's done here. None of my boys are doing anything wrong. It's all right. And the public just bought it, hook, line, and sinker. Because the planes hitting into those towers did something, and those towers falling did something to people. And they didn't want to believe. It was like whenever a family member commits murder. The family members just don't want to believe that they're capable of something. And the American public was so mad at these other countries that they didn't want to admit that their own country could do something like this, but they goddamn did it.
They fucking goddamn well did it, buddy. I mean,
we don't know who was in on it, but there was motherfuckers in on it, and they need to pay. They need to be reprimanded for their actions. Someone needs to investigate the investigators.
Dylan, I mean, come on. It's not gonna fucking happen.
It's never gonna happen, but if you don't say something, the word won't spread. The truth needs to spread to the masses, and Going Postal is going to do it.
People, I want everybody to listen to this know that, again, this ain't a fucking sitcom. This won't have a final fucking episode that shows you all the secrets, reveals the final prize at the end. No, I mean, it'll always remain what it is and what it has been, just a blatant lie, but these things happen.
If you see the lie in front of you, I want you to know that you're not crazy. I want you to know that you're not crazy. And if you see a building fall down perfectly symmetrical and you're like, I don't think that a building's going to fall down perfectly symmetrical whenever these planes just hit into these towers nearby this building. This building's not just going to catch on fire and burn and fall down perfectly symmetrical. You're not crazy thinking that. There's something fishy going on, and you're not wrong.